Hey, welcome to another week of personal finance. I'm Jim Munchbach, your coach for this semester. It's week number 2. So we're talking about savings, and this week we talked about savings and goals. And I wanted to just take a few minutes and review a couple of things. First of all, what we'll do in this video is just review a little bit of what we talked about in class. I'll cover the homework assignment for the coming week, for week 3, and yeah, that's about it. And I'm going to try to cover questions that you may not have asked yet. For example, your assignment next week is to do a budget, and one of the things you'll do next week is what you'll do every week. You'll watch some videos from Dave Ramsey, and you will write an article. So that video review and article is due every week. You'll be doing that assignment every week, and all assignments by Tuesday at 10 a.m. But what you need to know about this assignment is that you're going to need access to your online portal through Dave Ramsey. So make sure, if you haven't done so already, make sure you order the book. I'm going to go ahead and show you what it looks like to get the link. See if I can pull up the link. I know there's been a little bit of confusion about what I think I may have had a different link in the syllabus, but that link should work. I've spoken to the folks at Ramsey, Dave Ramsey, and they're telling me that they should be the same. But what you are looking for is an online access voucher. So this is what you should be seeing. It looks like the price is $94.99. I think that price may have been different in the link that I sent, and I've seen it change, so I'm not sure what to tell you about the price, but that's what you're looking for. It's Foundations in Personal Finance College Edition. So that's first thing you need to know. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and order your book. It's actually not a book. I told you, or I told some students, that you would get an actual physical book, but you won't. You'll just get online access to their curriculum. So another thing that I want to show you is when you get your voucher, I'll probably do another video and post it to our YouTube channel, just addressing what do you do once you order this online. You're going to receive an email with instructions for how to access your portal. And so there's a resource in Blackboard. I'm going to do another video, a short video, to show you how to do that. So for now, just be sure to order your book. Let's see, what else in the syllabus might we talk about? Okay, before we get into the lesson and a short review of the lesson, and also a little bit of information about the homework assignments that you're going to do for next week, I wanted to mention, I wanted to just kind of highlight how the course is graded. So we spoke about this in the first week of class, and I want to just highlight it again. So there's 1,000 points in the course, and you'll receive 30 points for each assignment. Typically, you'll see there are some assignments that have a different points, but most of them, as you can see, are 30 points. So if you look at the syllabus, you'll see what I'm seeing now, and you'll see that most of the assignments are 30 points. You will see there's a 60-day spending plan, which is worth 110 points. But you'll also see that the course offers 200 points for class participation, which includes discussion and just your involvement, your participation in the class. Most of the classes, you've already discovered, is an attempt at dialogue. So each week in the lesson, I will try to highlight the principles and give you some real-life application regarding each of the topics that we cover from week to week. We cover a lot of information in this course, and my job, at least I feel like my job, is to help you take what you learned in your study throughout the week and apply it in a way that will really make a difference. If you look at the beginning of the syllabus, and we've done this a couple of times, it's pretty well spelled out what the learning objectives are in the course. So I want to just kind of highlight that again. It's in the syllabus, and I hope you've spent a few minutes to review that. We've already talked about the 3 laws of personal finance in both the first class and the second, and we'll do that again from time to time. I hope you know by now what the 3 laws of personal finance are. I asked you to remember them or maybe write them down, so let me just review them real quick. The first law of personal finance we talked about in class this week is the law of spending and saving, and it goes like this: spend less than you earn so that you can save more for what matters most. And in the lesson this week, week 1, I guess it would be last week, and the lesson that we covered this week, Tuesday, yesterday in class, the topic was savings, and we also went over the baby steps. And Dave Ramsey has a great approach to basically starting out in financial planning with these baby steps. So we went over these steps, and we will go over these steps again a couple of times this semester. But the first step, the first baby step, is an emergency fund. And since the topic for the week is savings, and one of the things you had to do in your homework assignment this week, this last week, the first week, week 1, was to tell me what your goals were for this course. And so we spent some time in class. If you missed it, if you missed class, you missed an opportunity to communicate your goal for this semester in personal finance. My goal is to teach you how to become a millionaire by age 50. But that's not necessarily your goal. So I asked you to tell me what your goals are for this course. And so I reviewed your goals in reviewing your homework, and I asked you to just think about them and articulate them and share them with a student in the course in the classroom. And so you did that. But one of the things I tried to encourage everyone to do is to think about this first baby step of the emergency fund, to put $1,000 in the bank. And it could be $500. That may be the place to start. But the point is, this semester, you have an opportunity to create a goal for yourself and commit to it in a way that can be measured, in a way that you can look back and say, hey, I did that, I got that done. And so I think this is a great opportunity to connect the topic for the week with your other homework assignment, which was to just clarify your goals for the course. I hope you'll think about that. I hope you'll commit to that. So back to the 3 laws of personal finance. I want to just kind of remind you what we talked about in class. We covered the first law of personal finance, which is the law of spending and saving. And I'll repeat that many times. It's the most disregarded law of personal finance. And yet, if you follow that one law of personal finance, it will help you more than anything in terms of achieving the big goal of becoming a millionaire by age 50. So the first law of personal finance is the law of spending and saving. Spend less than you earn and save more for what matters most. This week coming up, we're going to work on a budget. Your job is to actually do a budget. And I don't really have a lot of specific instruction. I know about 1/3 of the students in our course typically are accounting majors. And so they do a great job with a budget. And next week in my weekly review, I'll show you some of the great homework assignments that I received from the accounting students. But the truth is, I'm not so interested or concerned about the quality of your budget this time. It's a basic budget, and I want to see what a budget means for you, what it looks like for you. So give it your best shot, and we'll take it from there. And I'll try to pick up wherever you are and hopefully teach you some of the things that I know about budgeting and how budgeting can help you achieve your goals, especially in terms of saving. The basic idea of a budget is to tell your money where it should go instead of just randomly letting your money go out the door. So you're going to learn a lot this week as you watch the videos from Dave Ramsey's team, and you're going to do some homework, and hopefully you will learn a good deal about budgeting. If it's new to you, don't let it stress you. You should just recognize this is a simple assignment. It's an easy assignment, and I'm not really, there's not a high bar. So it's worth 30 points. And again, remember, in the way that the way that I'm grading these assignments is, even though it's only worth 30 points, or it's worth 30 points, you have 2 assignments. If you do them early, you will get an extra 5 points. So what is early? Remember, if I have the opportunity to grade the assignments on the weekend, that's definitely going to be an early opportunity for you. If you turn it in Monday, probably not, unless I'm feeling really generous. The point is, if you get the assignment in early, I give you extra points because you're helping me have more flexibility in terms of doing my job in grading your assignments. And number 2, big benefit for you in terms of turning that assignment in early is if there's any question in terms of how you got graded, if I mark you down, which I do on a pretty regular basis, when you get my comments back telling you what I think you missed in the assignment, if you turned it in early, I'll get back to you with my comments, and you'll have an opportunity to fix it and resubmit it. So 2 big reasons to do your work early. Listen, I know I'm competing with everything else in your life. I get that. And so this is my way of using effective manipulation to try to help you the best way I can. So turn your assignments in early, and I'll help you get more points. Another thing I want to highlight before I move in to the rest of the review, including the other 2 laws of personal finance. Before I move into those, I want to mention that attendance is required, and I've mentioned this in class. This will probably be the last time I mention it in a video. But I want you to know, like I said on week 1, day 1, is I take roll. And so I will take roll the first thing, unless I forget, but usually I don't, and I'll hand out the roll in the back of the class. And it'll go through the class, and when it gets to the front row, typically I will pick it up. But if you pay attention, you'll see that usually I'm into teaching and maybe telling a story, and so I may not pick it up right away. It may sit there like it did yesterday for 20 or 30 minutes. So if you come in late and you go to the back of the room, you missed it. You missed the roll. And when I pick it up, it's in, and if you're that late, by the time I pick it up, you're absent. And that's just the only way I know to manage this process. Trust me, it can become an unbelievable mess if I start saying, oh yeah, you came in late, yeah, okay, here, I'll let you sign it. It just doesn't work that way. So show up on time. If you show up 20, 30 minutes early, don't expect me to let you sign in. You're absent. But remember, if you come to the front row, chances are I'm going to give a lot of grace to let that thing sit there, and if you come to the front row, you can sign in, but you got to sit in the front row. So there's that. Back to the 3 laws of personal finance. The second law of personal finance is the law of tax-advantaged investing, and I'm just going to say The IRS makes the law. It's your job to take advantage of it, and I'm going to teach you how to do that. But that's in the second half of this course. So that's the second law of personal finance. It's really important, and it's also one of the most popular topics of all, investing. And so we'll get to investing in the second half of the course. And you can see that again in the syllabus. If you look at the assignments, you'll see what's coming. But this week, as we talked about savings, and next week as we focus on budgeting, I want to highlight the third law of personal finance, which is the law of purpose and commitment. And that's what we talked about the most this week in class. And that is, if you know why you want to save, if you know why you want to build wealth, if you can answer that question for yourself, you'll be far more likely to succeed. And so I shared some of my story and some of the reasons that became very important to me to make wise financial choices in my life. And I hope you continue to think about that, because in my opinion, the third law of personal finance, the law of purpose and commitment, is the most important. And so as we get started in this course, my hope is that you show up and are willing and open-minded and ready to learn some of the principles of personal finance, that if you take action and if you have a good plan, mainly if you just make a commitment and do the small things, you will find tremendous success. And my commitment is to do my best to take each lesson and each topic and teach you to the best of my ability the things that I know will make a difference. So next week is the budget, and the budget again is a pretty simple process, and I'm just going to let you do that. Let you do that assignment and learn as much as you can. That's the real goal here. It's not to create a beautiful, perfect budget, although I know some of our accounting students will do just that. And I'll share some of their work as we move forward so that you can see what that looks like. And by the end of the course, you'll probably be pretty good at creating a budget. Now, one of the things I want to highlight about next week's homework assignment, the budget, is I really want you to focus on and learn about a zero-based budget. And it basically just says you start out with so much inflow, so much income, and you delegate where all of that money goes, and at the end of the process you have zero. So what do you do if there's something left? You assign that money to your savings. An emergency fund would be a good idea at this point. So it's a very simple process, a zero-based budget, and you're going to learn about that this week. In fact, I will post on the YouTube channel and in the Facebook page a video from Rachel Cruz, a great little video that I just watched about a zero-based budget. So you'll have that in addition to your other assignment, your other videos. You don't have to watch it, but it could be helpful. It's very short. Let's see what else. A couple of things I want to talk about just briefly before I let you go is this tracking, the spending tracker. Again, that's a big assignment, and you can see each one of these highlighted in gray, and that one there is highlighted in pink. But these homework assignments are all connected. They're basically the spending tracker and the spending plan. And so in each of those assignments, I'm going to ask you to provide 3 things. And you're going to find that these 3 things are helpful in the budget as well. Number 1, I want the data. So the data from your spending tracker will be to the penny. It'll be everything you spent using your debit card or your credit card, and it will show where you spent it, exactly how much it was, and it'll also categorize it. So when you use the tracker. It will help you organize that information in a way that will be very valuable to you as you start to create a budget for yourself. So you don't have to worry about that too much right now, but just know that there's a scheme here, and the spending tracker is going to help you create a really usable, effective budget moving down the road. And so the three things I want in these assignments: number one is the data, number two is a chart, a picture, which will be based on the categories. Now, you're going to be creating a basic budget, and in that budget you're going to have to come up with some categories, and you're going to learn about those categories this week, and I'm not going to share a whole lot in this video, but just be thinking about what are good categories for you to represent your financial outflows. So that's the second thing in these assignments you have to give me, is a graph, a picture. I don't care what kind of graph you use, whatever your software produces is fine with me. The third thing is, I want you to tell me, what did you learn? And that's true in almost every assignment that you do in this course. Is I want you to process and think about, what did you learn? What value did you get from doing this assignment? So hopefully that's helpful. Again, you're doing a budget. You're not going to have a whole lot of data. You will have some data, but I'm not asking you to give me the data right now. You should know what you spent or what you're going to spend on food and groceries and gasoline and insurance and rent and all of those things. So you'll have that data. Now, about the data, because I know many of you haven't done a budget in the past, and you're living, a lot of you are living under the umbrella of your parental resources. And so what that means is, if you took your income and your expenses, it would probably be pretty challenging for you to put together a real budget, because you're not earning income. You don't have income. And you don't really have expenses if mom and dad are paying the expenses. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pretend that every resource you're receiving from your parents or whoever is providing those resources, I want you to show that as income. So for example, let's say you live at home, and let's say you live in a nice house in Friendswood, Texas with 4 bedrooms, and you live there with your parents, and you don't pay rent, but they have to pay a mortgage, they have to pay the electric bill, they buy the internet, they pay for the water, they pay for the lawn care, they pay for the cable TV. All of those things would be expenses that would normally be put in a budget. But since you're not writing the check, you wouldn't think about those things. But I am thinking about those things. I want you to think about every resource in your life as an expense. And if you're not paying the bill, that's okay. You just calculate that as an income, an inflow, because someone is giving you something of value. So the point here is for you to get accustomed to being responsible for the cost of living your life. And this is my attempt to try to help you connect the dots in the most effective way possible between now and the time you really are paying the rent and the utilities and the cable. You may not have a clue how much the taxes are on your folks' house. You're going to have to do a little research. You're going to have to find out, because taxes in my house, it's like $5,000 a year. Divided by 12, that's got to be part of the budget. The insurance, the insurance, all of these things, all of these things that are a part of your living expense, all of these expenses are part of the cost of living for you. But since you're not writing the check, you don't see them. I want you to start to see them. So this is a perfect time for you to start to think through, okay, as I'm calculating the cost of my monthly expenses, what are the resources I'm receiving that may not show up in my tracker? And so do your best at identifying and showing those, and I hope that's helpful. again, this is an easy assignment. I don't mean to make it complicated. I just want you to start thinking about the cost of living. And I want you to be thinking about right now the fact that many of your expenses are covered by someone else, and that's okay, but I want you to calculate them. And I want you to show them in this budget. So I hope that helps. I think that's about it for now. Again, I'm going to do another short video to show how to take your, when you get the email from Dave Ramsey after you order your book, once you order this, you're going to get an email, and I'll show you in the next video what you do next. So thanks for watching. This is week 2, midweek update. Excuse me, I'll do another midweek update next week, and I'll do another video shortly, and it'll be posted on both the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. And you can find the YouTube channel or the Facebook page simply by searching Millionaire Habits. You can also go to millionaire-habits.com, and I think that'll take you to the YouTube page. It's just a redirect. But anyway, I hope you'll do that. Subscribe to the channel and like the Facebook page, and you'll get a notification when we post new content. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you shortly for the next video. Take care.